Imagine a world teetering between glory and ruin, a world where one man's dream of greatness challenges the foundation of a centuries-old republic. In 45 BC, the fate of Rome was sealed on a forgotten plain called Munda. Julius Caesar, a military and political genius, faced the last spark of republican resistance. Opposing him was Titus Labienus, a strategist who knew Caesar's methods better than anyone, leading the forces determined to keep Rome free from tyranny. The dust rose as thousands marched into the final battle, where history would be forged in blood and steel. I'm Yosemar, and this is the Spectrum of History. To grasp the magnitude of the Battle of Munda, we must travel back in time to explore the roots of a crumbling republic. Rome, a city-state that had conquered the known world with its military discipline and political systems, was now fractured by success. For decades, powerful senators and ambitious generals fought for influence, turning the Senate into a stage for intrigue. At the heart of this turmoil, two names rose above the rest: Pompey and Caesar. The alliance between Pompey, Crassus, and Caesar, known as the First Triumvirate, seemed unbreakable. But when Crassus died and Caesar's ambition grew, Pompey turned against him, siding with the Senate in a civil war that erupted when Caesar crossed the Rubicon in 49 BC. This moment wasn't just a strategic decision. It was an open defiance of Roman law, an audacious act marking the Republic's downfall. Pompey met his end at Pharsalus, defeated by Caesar's superior strategy. Yet the war was far from over. Even after Pompey's death in Egypt, Republican forces regrouped. Pompey's sons, Gnaeus and Sextus, emerged as resistance leaders, joining forces with Titus Labienus, a man who knew Caesar's methods and weaknesses intimately. Labienus, once Caesar's loyal lieutenant, had defected to the Republican side, bringing invaluable knowledge to the fight. Hispania became the Republican stronghold, a strategic refuge far from Caesar's immediate reach. There, Gnaeus, Pompey, and Labienus gathered a 40,000-strong army, many of them seasoned veterans who had once served under Pompey. The region's geography played to their advantage. Mountains, rivers, and scattered fortresses created natural obstacles for any invading force. Meanwhile, Caesar, determined to crush the resistance, marched his legions across harsh and treacherous terrain. He knew that victory at Munda would mark the definitive end of Republican opposition, but he also understood the risks. His soldiers were weary from years of campaigning, and morale had started to waver. Yet Caesar, with his unmatched ability to inspire loyalty, rekindled their resolve with fiery words. "Men of Rome," Caesar declared, "this is not just a battle, this is destiny. We fight not just for ourselves, but for Rome's future. Look back at the path we've traveled. There's no turning back. Only victory awaits us, and with it, immortality." The plains of Munda were a treacherous battlefield. On one side, the Republicans were entrenched on a hill, a defensive position providing a clear view of any advancing enemy. On the other side, Caesar faced the daunting task of attacking uphill, a perilous position requiring a bold strategy to shift the odds. Caesar ordered his troops to feign a direct assault on the center of the Republican lines, while preparing a flanking maneuver in secret. At the same time, he positioned his reserves strategically, ready to exploit any weakness in the enemy's lines. Labienus, however, was no novice. He detected Caesar's movements and launched a cavalry strike to disrupt Caesar's left flank. The tension on the battlefield was palpable. Every move was calculated, every mistake potentially fatal. The air was thick with dust, blood, and chaos as both sides fought desperately, knowing their very lives and the future of Rome hung in the balance. When Caesar's center began to falter under the pressure of the Republican cavalry, he made a daring decision. In an unexpected move, Caesar personally led a charge to reinforce the threatened flank. His presence on the battlefield, a rare sight for a general, galvanized his troops. Inspired by his bravery, they redoubled their efforts, repelling the Republicans and reclaiming lost ground. The death of Titus Labienus in the heat of battle was the decisive blow. While attempting to reorganize a counterattack, Labienus was surrounded and killed by Caesar's soldiers. His loss wasn't just a tactical defeat, it shattered the Republicans' morale. Without their leader, their forces crumbled, retreating in disarray as Caesar pressed the attack. The battle raged throughout the day, and as the final rays of sunlight illuminated the plains of Munda, The aftermath was one of sheer devastation. Bodies of men and horses littered the field, and the silence after the clash was as deafening as the roar of battle itself. Of the 40,000 Republican soldiers, over 30,000 were killed or captured. Caesar's forces also suffered heavy losses, but their victory was absolute. As Caesar surveyed the battlefield, he declared, "Today Rome stands united. There will be no more revolts, no more division, but the price of this unity is the sacrifice of thousands. Let this day never be forgotten." His words resonated among his legions, marking the end of an era and the dawn of a new one. The Battle of Munda wasn't just a clash of armies, it was a battle of ideals. On one side stood the fractured republic, clinging to its fading glory. On the other, Caesar, a man embodying both power and ambition, reshaping Rome in his image. The blood spilled on that plain sealed the fate of an empire and wrote one of history's most pivotal chapters. But Caesar's victory wasn't the end of the story. It was the beginning of a new era, an era of triumphs and tragedies, where Rome would reach unparalleled heights of power, only to crumble centuries later. And perhaps that's what makes Munda so captivating. More than a battle, it's a reflection of what we are, beings driven by ambition, courage, and sacrifice. Now, I leave you with this question. What does this story teach us about leadership, ambition, and the price we pay for our ideals? History stands before us to be interpreted, and the lessons we take from it depend on who we choose to be. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next journey through history.